I hear footsteps. My youngest princess loves track. I mean, she absolutely loves track. She loves track meets, track practice, watching track on TV, talking about track. So much so that when her school track season ended, she said, "Daddy, next year I want to run for an AAU team or a club team so I can keep running all year long until I can run indoor track when I get to high school and so forth and nonstop." And I'm like, wow, that's her thing. That's her sport. So I remember when she first got into track and we'd go out to the all-day Saturday track meets. And one thing that I thought was very interesting was you'd watch a race, and primarily with the younger kids, and the kid will just be going along the track. And then it would hear some footsteps. Someone coming up on their heel, coming up behind them. And they would turn back, and the kid that you thought was giving it everything they had would seemingly find another gear and run faster, just so that kid was behind them wouldn't pass them. And it didn't matter whether it was the first two kids on the track or the last two kids in the event. That kid did not want to be passed. And they would speed up, run harder, keep looking back to make sure that person didn't pass. And the interesting thing about that is the competitive edge that it takes to be successful. That's what it takes to win. Realizing that someone's on your heel, not wanting to let them pass you, giving it everything you have. Now again, we could talk about why they were jogging in the first place, but another story, another video. The point is, when you hear footsteps, when there's someone coming up on your heels, how do you react? You know, I remember when I was younger and I competed in oratorical contests, writing speeches, and of course reciting my speeches. I always wanted to be first. I wanted to be standing on the podium. I wanted the biggest ribbon, the trophy, whatever it was. I didn't win them all, but when I did win, that feeling of being at the top, that's what was driving me for the next competition. And what's interesting is, it didn't matter who else was in the competition. I knew that I wanted to be first. Which leads to my first point. My first point is this. No matter who you're facing, no matter what you're up against, you have to strive to be your very best. You know, sometimes the footsteps is the perceived champion, the perceived winner, the perennial favorite, the person that they say can't be beat. If you have to face them, you can't go in with fear. You can't go in with apprehension thinking, I can't win. You have to strive to be your very best. Doesn't matter if it's a speech competition, a chess match, an athletic event, or if you're bidding for a contract against the perceived favorite. I remember when we got into nonprofits, me and my business partner, Kirk Berry, when we started to work in the nonprofit area. We bid on a contract, on a government grant, and we were going against some giants. Some people that already had won the grants in the past, already had proven success in that area. Now, did we pack it up and say, we can't win, we got an A? No, the competitive edge in us drove us to put forth everything we had, and we won. We won the bid, had a successful program, and we continue to strive to be at our very best to make a difference and change lives. So the first point is, no matter who you're up against, you can't go in with fear or apprehension. You got to give it everything you got. And my second and final point is, you have to be you. You have to look in the mirror and, as I always say, know your strengths and know your weaknesses. Know what you're good at and know what you're not so good at. And in those areas, give it everything you have. Your weaknesses, or the things you're not so good at, put more effort and more energy to focus on getting better. Your strengths, continue to strive to utilize those things to be at your very best. So when you hear those footsteps, when the people are coming up behind you, when they're trying to claim your title, when they're trying to beat you out, you keep striving, you keep pushing, and you keep raising the bar. Raising the bar of excellence so that everybody's got to strive harder to get to it. Listen, the competitive edge is extremely important. Like I said, it doesn't matter where you are. Being in a competition of any kind, your goal should be to compete at your very best and to win. And in those competitions, remember, it doesn't matter who you're facing. Whether you're the underdog and someone else is the perennial favorites, you got to give it everything you have. And the second thing is, You have to be you. You have to win with your integrity. You have to win with your character, being the very best you can, giving it everything you have. The success will come. But you have to have that competitive edge. That fire has to burn inside you to want to win and to be number one.
I was there, I had this moment to